finished with the podcast, so I'm on my way to the house. But done is better than perfect. Y'all come on in, please share to your different platforms. Share with your CEO buddies, because we're going to talk about CFO. We're going to talk about what is a CFO. So I hope everybody is doing well. So I am being safe. If my sister Belinda is watching, I'm down the street from the house. I'm down the street. All right, y'all. So thank y'all again for coming, talking about what is a CFO. And so I got inspiration for this Instagram live from InvestFest. And InvestFest was an amazing experience. We were able to get so many contacts and made so many connections. And the purpose for the discussion came from Diddy, who was came from Diddy, and Diddy talked about the importance of having a CFO. And so we're going to talk about that, because a lot of people came to our booth at InvestFest talking about they needed a CFO, but it wasn't particularly the way Diddy was talking about it. After I found the actual clip of what Diddy talked about, so I wanted to make sure that I was able to talk to particularly like our startup businesses, our businesses that are a little bit younger, right, in establishment, to talk about what that looks like on a more startup level. So first of all, if you have not shared this yet, make sure you share it on your stories, your posts, things like that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started because I don't want to belabor the time. I'm going to wave at Diamond. Diamond's one of our positionettes. So I am Sonja Jones of GIP Financials, or Mr. Miyagi of Money. GIP is an acronym for Get in Position, and what we do, we empower CEOs to prioritize their numbers and position their businesses for profit. And we do that through bookkeeping and fundamental business finance education. That's what we do. And so with that being said, let's get into it. With that, what is a CFO? So a CFO is a chief financial officer. Excuse me. And a chief financial officer, the best way that I can put it is that if you are a CEO, if you're the visionary of said business, you as the CEO, you have to stay in the visionary mindset. However God gives you the function and the services and the products for your business, that's your lane. So the CFO's job is to make sure that you have enough money to fulfill said vision. That is simply that. That's what a CFO does. Now, baseline explanation. What does that look like functionality-wise? The foundational goal of CFO is basically to make sure that your financial, like Diddy said, they are watching your money all the time. So they're checking the cash in the bank accounts. They are checking if you have any credit cards, things like that. They're checking that. Hey, Nat, make sure y'all are sharing this. They are checking any, like, say if there are any grant or partnership opportunities, things like that. They're checking for that. If you are a business and say you're trying to scale and you need a brick and mortar, the purpose of the CFO is to check to see what cash do we have on hand. Do you need to apply for any funding? If you need to apply for a loan, what position is the company currently in to ensure that you have said funding for that loan to either purchase land to build or to rent a building, things of that magnitude. That is the purpose of the CFO. The CFO is always checking the money and making sure that the organization has enough money to fulfill the vision of the CEO. Foundational. Bare minimum. Right? So let's talk about it from, hey Taya, y'all share with your people. So let's talk about it from, if you are a startup, what does the CFO look like from the startup perspective? That CFO may be you, man. It may be you, right? Because at the end of the day, with a startup, you don't have a whole lot to start with. And especially for us at GIP Financials, we make sure, what's up, Kung Fu? With our neighbors. It won't let you share it to the store, child. You don't senior citizen. I don't know how to help you on that point. So again, I was talking about from a startup perspective. Every CEO needs to be familiar with what's going on in their company, regardless if you are a startup or if you are P. Diddy. You need to either have somebody to be able to interpret the numbers and the financial status for you, or you need to at least have access to the software to ensure that you know what's going on. Either the bank accounts or the accounting software. I would prefer both. Believe it or not, there are plenty of organizations and CEOs out there that do not have access to the accounting software that speaks of the data for their business. That's not acceptable at all. The CEO should have access to the bank accounts, the credit card accounts. If you have any type of loans or liabilities, the CEO should have access to that. I'm pulling in the garage. And the accounting software. That is a non-negotiable. If you have a bookkeeper or an accountant or a CPA and they do not either provide you access, because I know a lot of times where if you're looking for somebody like that and they already have the software and stuff in place and they'll set things up for you, you need to have access to that stuff. For us, when we set up bookkeeping for our clients in QuickBooks, we make them, it's a function called the primary admin. And the purpose of the primary admin is that the CEO, because your business is making the money, you got to make sure that you have access. Like if GIP is cutting up, guess what? That CEO, because they're the primary admin, can remove GIP access from said account. Because if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to keep having access. Right? So that's the first thing. Hello, I am Mr. Green. Thank you for joining. Please share with your network. Tay said that there wasn't an ability to share, but I think what I'm going to do is download it and put it on YouTube. I think I'm going to do that. All right. So that's the first thing. If you're a startup, you may be the CFO for your company. But with GIP, we offer DIY services to make sure that you have a foundational understanding of your numbers. Thanks for your patience. I'm getting out the car. Now I'm going to walk in here. Hey, babe. So that's the first thing. If you are an established business, you got it. All right. If you are an established business, I'm walking in here. Shout out to my husband that he set up my little thing for me. Hold on, y'all. So if you are an established business, the next thing is your CFO may be your bookkeeper, right? Your CFO may be your bookkeeper, which means that he or she is going to be able to track your finances. And I'm good, babe. I think I'm good. Thank you, babe. They should be able to track your finances and also give you reporting. So what that looks like is they're going to be able to So say if you're using QuickBooks, they should be able to go in and have working knowledge with you to categorize your financials, meaning being able to categorize your income, your expenses. If you have any assets that need to be depreciated, like any equipment, vehicles, say if you own a building and the building needs to be depreciated, things like that. Your CFO, meaning your bookkeeper, should have access to that information. Preferably paperwork, especially when it comes to assets. So they can be able to record that in your bookkeeping system. As well as reconciling those accounts and also giving you specific data for your business, your profit and loss, which is going to give you how much profit you made periodically. You can do it by week, you can do it by month, you can do it by quarter, you can do it year to date, or you can do it annually, right? The profit and loss is going to show you just the performance of the business, the money that's going in, and then the money that's coming out. Hey, Nuna. So that's one report that the CFO should be able to print out for you and be able to explain to you what that means. Okay? The balance sheet. The balance sheet is a report that's going to explain to you all of your assets in order of liquidity. What's going on, C-Mac? So it's going to show you if you're going, like, say, today is September 1st. In most cases, you won't have the data already for August. You won't have the bookkeeping ready for August, but say for July. The balance sheet is going to show you your ending cash in your checking account for July. If you have any liabilities like credit card accounts, loans, and stuff like that, it's going to show you whatever your statement balance is for those liabilities. And it's also going to show you the equity, right? It shows the amount of ownership, right, of your company, which means that any money that you personally invested in the company, the owner's contribution, and then the owner's equity, any money that you actually took out of the business. Because keep in mind, that contributes to the value of your business. So say if you want to scale your business and grow it to the point where you want to sell it, the balance sheet is going to be critical, especially those that equity portion, because that's going to give you the information to let you know how much you can sell it for, right? Because if you sell your business, whatever profit you get from that, if you have any liabilities, you got to pay them folks off, right? So that information is going to be critical. Hello, JoJo the Realist. What's going on? Thank you for joining. And then the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement is going to be able to explain to you how much cash the company has on hand to sustain itself for a certain period of time. So you remember when we talked about in the balance sheet, the July ending cash statement, you get that information from the banking statement itself. So at the end of July, say you got $100,000, right? God forbid, if you do not make any other money, if you don't generate any more revenue, how long can that $100,000 that's in the bank sustain the business? So you got to think about how much money y'all are spending every month. Supplies, payroll, things like that. So if you got $100,000 cash in the bank and it's costing you about $10,000 a month in expenses for everything, that's going to let you know that you got about 10 months of operational expenses if you don't bring any more revenue into the business. A CFO should be able to tell you that. Okay. Thank you, JoJo the Realist. Hey, Latasha. Shout out to all my positionettes that are on here. I appreciate y'all's support. So that's the data that a CFO should be able to tell you. So again, if you're a startup, you will be your CFO, right? If you are your CFO, you need to get in some courses some DIY level courses, some online trainings. We have plenty of content on our GIP YouTube channel that you can start there. Or we offer some very affordable online courses like preparing your tax return, grant and loan tips, Q3 tax strategies, payroll 101, all those courses, right? They're currently not online because we're in the process of repackaging those, because now we're in like tax season evangelism period to try to get everybody, all of our entrepreneurs excited and hyped up about getting their financials in order, right? So we talked about startup, established, right? Bookkeeper, accountant, possibly even a CPA. So let's talk about if you're doing more high level stuff, like what Diddy was talking about. So say, I remember in his speech, he was talking about like the purpose of having a business is to eventually sell it, to grow it and sell it. I know for him also, because he has so many businesses, he can't have his hand in everything. So one, that in what he did, instead of, I want to say he hired his CFO in-house. So this is actually a person that is vested specifically for Diddy and all of his entities, right? So that's a big job to not only have to, deal with, communicating with Diddy and his team, but also managing, the money for all of his different initiatives and businesses. That's a lot. And so you have to be, I'm pretty sure his CFO has his or her own team, because that's a lot, right? So say for example, for P. Diddy, I'm pretty sure his CFO is also looking at, because I'm pretty sure a portion of Diddy's profits are being invested in, like P. Diddy invested like $1 million into Earn Your Leisure and HBCUs. Pretty sure the CFO gonna have a hand in that. Like, how you gonna invest? Who's gonna monitor Earn Your Leisure and the HBCUs to ensure that they are investing the way they're supposed to be, checking on Diddy's return on investment, things like that. If there are any other businesses, right, that P. Diddy might want to either create, and if that is the case, the CFO will be responsible for kind of assessing the risk. Like, so if P. Diddy wants to, hey, Lanisha, and congratulations on your new role. I saw that on Facebook earlier, so chef's kiss. Blessings to you. So say, for example, again, if P. Diddy wants to start another business, the CFO will be responsible for looking at how much that business will cost, what P. Diddy's current investments are, and kind of assess the risk in that. I'm pretty sure with P. Diddy, he should have like a finance team and hopefully some accounting control, what we call internal controls, another word for like finance standard operating procedures, right? If with Diddy's enterprises, who has the authority to sign checks for P. Diddy's businesses or P. Diddy's entity, right? If he is running a business and they're invoicing people or however they're receiving revenue, there should be a documented process for that in the roles and whoever's responsible for those types of, for collecting the revenue and tracking the revenue. If he has any accounts payable, if he's, paying money out for expenses, what that process looks like. If he's doing any type of audits, like say if P. Diddy has a nonprofit and they're getting federal funding, right? Because a for-profit and a nonprofit are two totally different entities, have different functions, especially when we talk about revenue. So any nonprofit that receives over $750,000 in federal funding, that's a guaranteed audit. You have to have an audit conducted. All nonprofits have to have what they call a 990. That's kind of like the nonprofit tax return, depending on how much revenue you collect in your nonprofit. that 990 looks a little different. But even in that, somebody has to be responsible for preparing that 990. That should be a documented process, right? So as your business grows, your CFO's function is going to look a little different, right? So, and like I said, Diddy got all those businesses. I'm pretty sure his processes, and that CFO got a lot of work to do, but I'm pretty sure his CFO has a team. Pretty certain of that, because that's a lot to do, right? So I just kind of wanted to come on and give like kind of a foundational, description of what a CFO looks like in different levels of business. And again, I greatly appreciate Diddy because after he gave his interview, man, folks was coming out of nowhere talking about they needed a CFO. And we started asking, those questions. We were like, probably you don't need this particular service, because we do advertise CFO, like high level services, but that's from the standpoint of like budgeting, high level strategy and planning, things like that. Yeah, that was very dope of him to do that. We were like, why are y'all asking about CFO stuff? So I feel like it was definitely an opportunity for me to explain what that looks like. And so, yes, again, if you're a startup, there's a good chance, there's a 95% chance you will be the CFO of your business, but there are definitely resources for you to learn about how to organize your financials until you are able to invest in a bookkeeper to help track and manage your financials for you. And then as you grow, on our YouTube channel, we talk about the 4 financial roles: the bookkeeper, the tax preparer, the tax planner, and the CPA. Every entrepreneur is going to have at least somebody to manage their finances and particularly file their taxes, right? I would even say the tax preparer will probably be the top priority. But I would definitely also include that the bookkeeper and the tax preparer are probably the 2 functions that are often, confused. That's not the word I wanted to say, but most people assume that if you're a bookkeeper, you do taxes and vice versa. So if you do taxes, you also do bookkeeping. Those are 2 totally different functions. Tax planning, sometimes the tax preparer, depending on what their niche is, sometimes they do offer tax planning. Our tax preparer partner, Michael Tunstall, G1 Business Group, he does offer tax planning with his tax prep services. But if you have a CPA, in most CPA firms, they will have somebody to offer the whole function, right? So if you're paying a CPA particular fees, they have people that are delegated out to perform tax planning, tax prep, and bookkeeping. That's normally how that works. But again, just because you have a CPA that's working for you, I wouldn't just leave it at that, right? You need to make sure that that CPA has industry knowledge about your particular type of business, right? Because quiet as kept, most CPAs do have a niche. There are CPAs that only deal with construction. There are CPAs that only deal with e-commerce. There are CPAs that only deal with salons, daycares, things like that. So you just have to make sure that you ask the right questions. So I'm going to stop right here and pause for the calls. Do y'all have any questions or any feedback for little old me? I got my t-shirt on, ask me about bookkeeping. So any questions? Thank y'all for hanging on in there with me tonight. I'm doing better. I'm trying to do better as far as offering content, things like that, especially as we're gearing up for tax season 2023. So again, it is September 1st. We got, including September, we got September, October, November, December. 4 more months. Bro, lot. What's going on, sir? Thank you for joining. We got 4 more months before it's time for you to start submitting your stuff to your tax person. GIP Financials is here to let you know that you need to organize your financials. I'm finna sit in this chair. I hope I don't make myself too high. All right, so let's talk a little bit about organizing your financials. Think about it like a closet, right? You open up your closet and you just putting stuff in there and there's no rhyme or reason for the organization. That's how your business financials are. You just spending money. You got receipts everywhere. You don't have a business checking account. You're going to get popped on the hand. That's first off. But you spending money in your personal account. You spending money in your business checking account. You're receiving money like in your personal cash app, and it's going to your personal checking, and just stuff all over the place. Just imagine you taking all your clothes out your dresser drawers and just throwing them in your closet. That's what the equivalent of that is. Our job is to go in there and sort out all your clothes to be like, hey, are you keeping this? Like Marie Kondo, does this give you joy? That's what we do, right? Now, I'm also going to say this. How we're able to help you is going to be based off of the level of investment. So if you are able to go in there and organize your closet, go for it. Then all we have to do is go in there and just say, hey, you did a good job. There are a couple of things out of place. You might want to add a shelf here to maximize your space and all that. That's fine. But if you a hoarder, bam, that's going to be an investment. If we got to go in there and we walking on t-shirts and hoodies and you got like 9 plastic tubs in that thing, and you want us to go through and organize your closet, that's going to be an investment. We will consider that a cleanup, right? So if you have not tracked your financials from January to September or to the end of August, and you don't even know how much money you've made in 2023 in your business, you need to reach out to GIP Financials and let us help you get that organized. And we can do that in a different level of ways. We can do it from a DIY perspective. We can point you to an online course that'll help you get organized. We have done with you services that will help you. We can walk you through a system that we've already developed, such as QuickBooks or our DIY tracker. Shout out to Latasha Long for that. The Deacon Hand. That's right, Latasha. Oh, hey, Roger. How you doing? Thank you for joining. We will offer you the Deacon Hand for your financial, so you got done for you services. But if you like, child, I admit, I am a hoarder. I don't know where my stuff is. Help me fix my finances. We have what we call done for you services, where you just give us all the stuff and we organize it for you. That's going to be the most significant investment, right? So it's really going to depend on how much you're willing to participate in this process. Now, if we're talking about, because we're on the topic about CFOs, right? This will be a great learning experience for you. Because once you get your system set up, there's no turning back. It's going to be all about discipline to get you set up the right way, and you can just take that ball and just keep rolling with it. Systems save businesses. Y'all put that in the comments. Systems save businesses. Even if you have a side gig or a side hustle, you need to start tracking your financials also, because quiet is kept. Y'all want this funding that's coming down the pike. The state of Tennessee has launched TN coming down the pike funding. You have to have financials. Thank you, Tasha. System save businesses. Them folks want to see if you are for real legit business. So it's beyond just having an EIN. You have to have reported financials, documented financials. You need to have a separate business checking account to prove that your money is going somewhere. You have to have filed taxes. Schedule C, if you are a single member LLC or sole proprietor. If you are an S Corp in 1120, right? Or a partnership, right? You are 1160, I think it's 1165 if you're a partnership. So yeah, you got to have some documentation that you are a legit business, right? There is no way anybody is going to lend you money, entrepreneur, if you do not have documentation. It's not going to happen. I'm going to say it's not going to happen. There's some folks that will give you, lines of credit and stuff with you don't have to give them an EIN and stuff like that, but just know it's going to be high risk. I've seen I had a client last year, maybe a couple years ago, that it was like the equivalent of a payday business loan, and they had to pay something on it literally every day. The lender was taking out auto withdrawals every day. Ate up their cash flow. Ate it up. And it was like super high interest rate. Don't do that, y'all. Take the time to invest in your business. It's a tax deductible expense. And make sure that you just, move some expenses around to make that investment in your bookkeeping, right? That's what we're here to help you guys with. So I hope that as you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, thank you, Diamond, for saying System Save Businesses. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. You can check the link in the bio. You can schedule a 15-minute discovery call, and you'll be able to access me, Diamond, or Lanisha. We're the primary, folks on the team that manage the discovery calls. Or you can sign up for our free workbook called the Business Finance Blueprint, and that's going to offer you guiding questions to help you make sure that your entity is set up properly, to also make sure that you have proper systems for collecting your money for your clients and also paying money out to your vendors, right? So we are a teaching ministry here at GIP Financials. So I just want to make sure to give you guys that information. So yeah, so message us. You can also, I forgot, text GIP to area code 901-403-6651. We now have a text list, and you can be updated on everything going on with GIP. If we get new videos, the only reason why I didn't post anything from the text list tonight was because I was driving from a podcast interview. I just didn't have time to do it. But I did send out the email blast. I did do that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to download this and make sure I put it on YouTube and just share it out again. Just make sure everybody got it. But I just wanted to, like I said, come on here tonight and talk about the function of the Chief Financial Officer. So y'all, it is now 7:35, and I'm about to get something to eat because your girl is hungry. So y'all have an amazing Labor Day weekend. Try to get some rest and chill out. Let me know if y'all putting some on the grill. Let me know. And that's pretty much it. So I appreciate y'all taking time to learn and grow with GIP. Share this with folks that that you hang out with, any entrepreneurs that you know. And we will see you guys. Oh, who is that? Hold on. Child, I hope I don't fall out this chair. T. Lewis 68. Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna sit up. press a wave. I'm about to get off here now, T. Lewis, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna download this so you can watch it from the beginning, and it'll also be on our YouTube. So take care, y'all. Have an amazing weekend, and I will talk with y'all later. And as always, get in position.